before the third decision to attempt the field goal in that situation rather than the field goal?
Yeah, I kind of made that decision before the third down call. We'd kind of been in 4-down mode that whole drive and calling plays on third down to make sure we'd be in manageable force. And we had a good play call, and I decided kind of before that, let's take a shot to hit one here. And, again, we had I think Samari was open enough to get the first down, and we had the shallow cross open, and we missed it. The drive in the first half, we had a 3rd and 8, I think, and I ran a play to try to get to a point where we could go for 4th down. So you kind of make that decision on 3rd down. And at that point in the game, early in the 4th quarter, the way our defense was playing, I thought a field goal would give us a chance.
Were you trying to line up going for it on 4th down in the first quarter when you had the negative run, I think, on 3rd and 2? You ended up.
Yeah, that was the play. Adrian ran it. I think that's what you're talking about.
The running back kept it. It was 3rd and 2. Got stuffed going in.
I don't remember which play you're talking about.
What do you know about the variables about your kickers all season long? I know hindsight's 20/20, but we're in that mode. Do you rethink that decision to not go for the 4th down?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a chip shot. He's been kicking really well. Wish I had it back now. Obviously, you second guess yourself. But again, to try to make it a 3-point game, that's the right football decision. Whether or not it was the right situational decision, knowing what I know now, I would have done something else.
Scott, what do you make of the special teams all day? Just some errors in the punt game, and obviously the field goals too, and how that contributed to everything.
Yeah, again, you'll never get me to run down any one kid. I never do that. These are my guys. I love them. But it isn't special teams right now. It's specialists, and that's been kind of the issue for a while.
Coach, your thoughts on pass protection overall today?
Not good enough. We had to run a lot of max. No, they're really good. I should have started this whole thing with that. They got a elite talent at every position. I thought our secondary, they gave up a lot of yards to one kid, but just overall them battling against that caliber of player was impressive. That caliber of running back and giving up the rushing yards that we did. Man, these guys are fighters. There's some things we're not doing well enough, and I think this far into the season, everybody sees some of those things. One of them's pass pro. We just got to be better. We have to call too many max pro things and boots with extra guys in, and that kind of limits us a little of what we can call and get going fast and get rhythm, and kind of limits the routes you can run, and that's something we just got to keep working on. Now, we're young up front. There's some guys banged up front. Losing Teddy certainly didn't help, but in general, people get on Adrian pretty hard. Sometimes he deserves it. Sometimes we got to do a better job around him, and protection's one of those areas.
He didn't look real comfortable running the ball early in the game, but he did in the second half. I mean, did you sense that he sort of got into a rhythm as the game went along?
Yeah, listen, again, I've been on the high side around here and the low side around here, and Adrian's been playing with a broken jaw and a high ankle sprain, and I feel good going into bye week saying that because he's past it, but he's showing a lot of grit and toughness. Those two things are obviously going to make you a little bit different player, and I agree with you. In the second half, I thought he took off and got us tough yards.
Was there ever a thought about trying to use Logan at least as a runner? Because he is, unless he's not full speed in that.
Logan is coming along. I got a ton of confidence in Logan right now. You're crazy if you don't think I'm playing the guy that gives us the best chance to win a football game. Yeah, now you're taking a good player off the field to do that, and we've talked about all these things, but I'm disappointed. I hate losing more than anybody in that locker room, but I just love being the coach here. I love these kids. They've battled through a lot, and this is going to pop at Nebraska. It just is. We're doing too many good things right. We got too many good young players. There's too many. We're putting ourselves in position to win too many games, and just not making a play or catching a break. The guys I feel bad for are the seniors, because JoJo and Stilly and Deontay and Markel and a lot of those guys have just poured everything they got into this game. Thought JoJo played an unbelievable game. Those guys are the heart and soul, and I feel bad for them. For the rest of these young guys, they're doing a lot of really promising things.
Scott, the jaw for Adrian, that was at Michigan State, obviously, but the ankle was that against Michigan then? So he
No, ankle was in practice. We had a ball on the ground, and somebody dove on it and rolled up on him. Tuesday of Minnesota.
Given the opponent, was this the best your defense has played this season, maybe in your 10 years as coach?
Yeah, hard to say. I thought they played it's hard to say you play better than holding Michigan State to 15 yards in the second half. And again, this isn't against bad opponents. Ohio State's an elite team, and they're going to have a chance to be in the playoff, depending on the Michigan and Michigan State games. And Ryan does an unbelievable job with those guys. And but for the caliber of player they have on offense, I was really impressed with the D. And secondary in particular, we gave up the one long one, and the one kid had a lot of plays. But man, those are some elite receivers, and they battle.
How difficult have those discussions been internally with Adrian and playing with a broken jaw as you went week to week? Did he risk hurting that earlier in the year after?
Yeah, he had about 3 decisions, and I'll let him talk about it more, his decision to do it. He had about 3 decisions, one that would have kept him out for a while, and one for the rest of the year, and one to go. And you know, he loves the team and made that decision.
How do you balance where this feeling probably today where you're so close against an elite team with also the big picture record and the bowl game now being out of the question?
Yeah, listen, like I said, man, I bleed for Nebraska. I've lived in O'Neill and Lincoln and McCook and Wood River and was born in Crete, and I bleed for this. And we're giving everything we have and pouring everything we have into this, and nobody's more disappointed to me that hasn't happened yet. But there's too many good things happen for us to not get over this hump. And you know, you guys wrote about it a lot. I let the team, the captains, talk to the team after the game, and I told them today, don't hang your head. They should be proud of the way they played. They keep putting themselves in position to have a chance to win against really good competition, and we're doing a lot of things right. They just got to keep doing them and keep putting ourselves in position to win games. The one thing that I'll be critical of myself and the team is if we play with that much spirit in every game, I think we have a couple more wins. Now you go through a grind of a season, and it's tough to play your absolute best every single game. But I never want us to look back. There was guys jumping around on the benches and on the sideline, and that's the passion that Nebraska fans want to see. That's the passion that I want to see.
What can you say about the effort that JoJo gave today, and might he or anyone else have a decision to make about opting out because of his or their health?
JoJo's playing hurt right now too, and made a decision to play today because he loves his team and his coaches. I don't know what decision he'll make going forward, but it won't be because he's opting out. I don't see that happening with our guys.
Got one more on the 4th down play. Does the fact that you're a big underdog play into the psychology of a situation like that? You know?
Yeah. Again, I made a decision in the first half on a 3rd and 7 or 8 to try to run the ball to put ourselves in a position where I go for it on 4th down. And earlier in that drive we had. That was a 3rd and 5, and we had a play call that we liked. It worked. We didn't convert. Yeah, those are decisions when something doesn't work, you question it. If we complete the ball and he walks in the end zone, you're happy.
If you got a guy open on 3rd down, why not trust your offense to make another play?
Well, I was also trusting my defense at that point. So, hindsight, we can question that a lot. You can't say we've lost games because of bad clock management and bad decisions and those types of things. That one I question myself, but if we hit the play, we're not talking about it.
Is Sevion Morrison, was he available today, or is he?
Same as a couple of days of practice because of a family issue, and wasn't available. Thanks, guys.
gave us sort of high-level information on what you've been playing through the past several weeks with jaw and ankle. I guess, first of all, what was that decision like, if you're willing to talk about it, to play through the jaw injury, and why did you decide what you did?
Yeah, some more information I'm sure will be disclosed after the season, and I'll go more in depth there. But really, it was a tough choice, and one I wanted to make for my teammates and wanted to do for our team. Simple as that, and continue to fight and lead the guys. It's really as simple as that for me.
Just one thing, did you know in the locker room in East Lansing that it was a fracture before you went back in the game?
No, I went in. Essentially, they didn't know what it was. It's like, all right, let's go, let's play. My face was numb and swollen. Finished the game. After the game, a couple days later, found out what it was, and then the decision to play came about a day later.
What was your opinion of your coach's decision not to go for 4th and 4 there?
Confidence in our defense. I think that gives us a chance to win the game there, and Will had a hell of a punt, and all the confidence in the world in those guys. They'd been doing a good job all game. Maybe it would have helped with field position, but I mean, it's one of those things that you could have also went for it. We're going to do what our coach wants us to do, and I had faith in that plan.
Early in the game, at one point, you grabbed your ankle and went down. Did you sort of settle into a rhythm running the ball in the second half, or did you make a conscious decision of, I've got to make some plays with my feet?
Yeah, I'd say it's a combination of both. I was getting into more of a rhythm running the ball. I'd say they weren't necessarily giving me the best options to keep the ball, the defense, Ohio State. But in the second half, it was more of kind of deliberate on my part, deliberate on what we were calling, and also getting into a rhythm. It was a combination of those things.
Adrian, you've had so many of these close games and played very well to come up short. Is today any different than the one prior to the season?
Yeah, it's tough. At the end of the day, I'm proud of our guys for continuing to fight. Proud of the way we had each other's backs out there, stuck together through everything, through the noise, through whatever. It's about the brotherhood, and the brotherhood is strong here at Nebraska, and we believe in each other. So we're going to keep pressing on. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's another top team that we've lost a close game to, in a game that we felt we had the chance to win. There's nothing else to do but to continue to press on and learn from this game.
During your passes this similar to same or similar plays to what you connected with him earlier in the season?
Yeah. The first one was, second one wasn't.
Did you guys make a concerted effort to get him more involved today?
Yeah, with some of the shots that we had called, yes. But part of that's going through my progression like I normally would, and if he's the guy that's open, he's the guy that's open. It's not necessarily forcing the ball to him.
Austin Allen had the 26-yard catch early in the game and was only targeted once for the rest of the contest. Why wasn't he more involved in the second half?
Yeah, I cannot give you a 100% answer to that question. I'm going to need to go back and look at the film and see if I missed him on a couple plays. But you have a point. I mean, Austin's one of our best players, and I need to do a better job of getting him the ball.
I know you're probably not thinking about other games while you're in the midst of playing, but it felt a little bit like the Michigan game where the offense struggled early and then sort of got it going late. I mean, what is it about your side that where you've gotten off to some slow starts and then got it on track as the game's gone along?
Yeah, it's personally, and I'd like to say as a unit, we try and approach each game as its own thing, just because some of the things in the past where we've lost those close games, it's not our identity. So we're approaching this game with a new mindset there. It's just about staying consistent. I mean, we kept engaging each other and knowing it was going to happen at some point, believing it was going to happen, and that's what it's about for us. I mean, we had the mindset to come out fast and start strong. That's our goal every game, but I can't necessarily put a pin on exactly what made it not happen today.
On that third down pass to Manning, do you think that, were you surprised there wasn't a flag there? The crowd reacted as if, something was there. Were you surprised that nothing was called there? This is on in the fourth quarter.
No. You can't expect calls. You just got to play the game, and the calls are there, awesome. If not, whatever, let's rock. I mean, that's part of football.
Adrian, the decision to play, was the decision between playing or season-ending surgery, is that what we're talking about there?
Yeah.
And how quickly did you make that decision? I mean, did you sleep on it, or?
Yeah, a couple days. It was tough. It was really tough.
Adrian, you've been through these injuries, not this kind of injury, but different injuries just about every year. Knowing what you've gone through physically and mentally, how tough does that make it, extra difficult does that make it to now know that you won't be going to the postseason again for the fourth time?
I mean, it's incredibly tough. In my fourth year here, and past 3 years, we haven't made postseason play as well. It hurts. It hurts, and knowing it's not just me who puts things on the line here, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it may be. I mean, it's our program. There's tons of guys sacrificing. I'm just one of those guys, and it hurts. I know how much time and the commitment we put into this, the hard work from top down, and it's not easy swallowing that result. But we do have 2 more games that we are looking forward to, trophy games that we're going to go attack. We have no other option.
Anything else for Adrian? All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
What was going through your mind when you saw the ball on the ground there? Did you see the ball on the ground? Did you know it was rolling around?
No, I took the guy's towel, and then I was like, well, I probably need to get the ball then. So I knocked the strip sack fumble, and I didn't know where the ball went. I thought it bounced backwards, but went like 20 yards the other way. So, yeah.
Garrett, defensively, that's as good of performance as Ohio State we'll probably see all year. How would you characterize the Black Shirts today?
We got caught in the act of being ourselves. That's what we do. That's what we practice every day. We rep that. We understand our jobs. We have some of the best players in the nation on our team. We have some of the best coaches in the nation on our team. Coaching us up, teaching us what we need to do. I love playing with those guys. They bring as much as I do, and we feed off each other when we make plays. It's a phenomenal group of guys and coaches to be around with every day and to work with every day and play defense with. And usually I'm the pretty fired up one. With those guys, when I'm feeling down or I need a boost, those guys are there to give it. They're the best teammates in the world. We played really well today, and that's how we play. That's how we practice. We expect that every game. But I love those guys to death, and we play really well today.
Got caught in the act of being ourselves? Is that what you said? What's that mean?
We don't need to make games or situations. We don't need to change who we are as a defense, who we are as players in different situations and games. People saw what we did in the sense of being caught in the act of being ourselves. People saw who we are. People have been seeing who we are, black shirt defense-wise, in these games. Getting sacks, getting interceptions, shutting down really high-power offenses. That's who we are. That's who the black shirts are.
Do you prefer playing Kenneth Walker or Chris Olave?
Both really talented guys. I'll probably just say running back because I can hit him more.
Coach said JoJo was playing hurt today and still had a heck of a game. Could you speak to just his performance over this season and as a guy who, he came back obviously for more wins, but what he's gotten done and how he's kind of led your group?
Yeah, coming back for his 6th year and staying this long and given what he gives to this program speaks volume to the person he is. He's one of the best guys I know personally. He's one of the best players I know in the nation. He's meant a lot to me as a leader and as a player. Taught me how to lead, taught me how to play hard, taught me a lot of things about football, about life. He's one of my first really good friends here when I came to college. And yeah, no, he's a top-tier guy.
How do you, I know you're fresh off the game, how do you square what the defense has done and built and what everybody has sort of poured into it with the larger scale of being 3-7 and not going to a bowl game? I mean, where do you find, where do you fall on that? How do you deal with that, I guess, that you can play that well and pour what you do into it, and then the results haven't been there in the win column?
Because I have, 150 other dudes relying on me to show up every day and work the hardest I can. For me personally, and I know it's for pretty much everybody else on the team, these are the type of guys, and I'm not the type of guy, these are not the type of guys to look each other in the eyes and say that we didn't pour our heart out every day on practice, every day and when we play games. Those are not the type of guys to wish or think they could have done more or anything. They leave it out there every day. They show up every day. We love each other too much to do that to each other, not to lay our heart on the line every time we do something, whether it be practice or play or a drill or anything. Speaks volumes to the love that we have and the camaraderie we have as a team, the togetherness we have as a team. It was very much different when I first got here, in the sense of in the bad way. We've been coached and taught ways to be a collective unit and love each other that much and play hard for each other that much and practice that hard for each other that much, no matter what circumstances, and coming back every day and showing up ready to work for those guys, because I can't be the one, slow or down or anything like that, because I got my brothers next to me relying on me to do my job and give them energy and make some plays.
Last one. There's no bowl game, but what are those final 2 games after this bye going to mean to this program, to trying to, obviously those are big rivalry type games, to trying to set for something into next year and everything like that?
Yeah, these, we haven't had a trophy in here for a while, so to run across the field and go grab those trophies from those guys be huge. 2 of the biggest rivals right at the end of the season. Playing with pride, playing for those trophies, playing for each other.
Thank you. Miles Farmer next.
All right, questions for Miles?
What did you see on the interception of C.J. Stroud?
I was just playing my coverage. He ran an over route, and it was my guy. I ran with it, and I looked for the ball, and it was in the air, and just made a play on it. That's all. That's really it.
Did you guys, defensively, did you impress yourselves today, or how would you characterize the fulfillment of playing against an offense like that and playing as well as you did?
I wouldn't say we impressed ourselves. I mean, we do that every weekend. I would say we played at our highest level today, and it might have been because of the team we was playing. We did a lot of great things today in the secondary and as a defense in whole, So I'm really happy about that.
Those guys are pretty good, though, huh?
Yeah, they all right.
Miles, what have you sort of learned, I guess, over the last 2 weeks? Obviously, you've been playing some in rotation all year, but to play as many snaps as you have the last couple of weeks, like what what progress, I guess, you feel like you've made personally?
I would say I matured a lot over these past 2 weeks, being more focused and just my preparation process, watching more film, asking more questions, being more focused at practice, I would say that's really what happened over these 2 weeks.
What can you say about the performance of Jackson Smith and the Jigba going for 240 receiving yards?
Who?
Number 11.
Number 11? That's a great receiver. I mean, he played a great game. He got in space. He made plays for their team, He's very little, so he's kind of hard to get down. But when we did get him down, I mean, the kid, man, he played a great game. He played a good game. I told him that after the game.
Yeah, no, Ohio State's very last possession where they got in field goal range. Were you surprised at all? They didn't throw it downfield, but they had some short yardage throws. And were you thinking they might run it there? What was the thought process of you guys in that moment?
The thought process, they was trying to get in field goal range. They was just trying to end the game, and we was trying our best to stop him from getting in field goal range. We know that kicker, he's been making kicks all game. So once we knew they got in field goal range, we kind of knew what it was.
What's your patience level like as far as the record goes?
My patience level?
Yeah, your patience level as far as the record goes and coming close repeatedly.
I really don't know. I don't really pay attention to that. I just keep playing football every weekend. That's why I'm here, play football. So I just kind of enjoying that, being able to play every weekend.
What was your vantage point of the Garrett strip sack on that last drive where they were able to get the field goal to go up 9? Did you have a chance to see it? Were you on the other side of the field?
I was in the post. I was in the back, so I seen it, but I wasn't gonna be able to make that play.
Anything else for Miles? All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a couple more guys in here. Hopefully some more in, one more deeper.
So, Mark, how big was that 72-yard catch and run for you after they just had that 75-yard touchdown run and catch?
Yeah, that was, obviously a big play for us. Our whole thing going into this game is, we got to come out fast, and the biggest thing was being able to respond, being able to answer, and that was the time where, they hit us for a big play, and I think it showed, some of the progress this team has made, instead of getting down and saying, oh, here we go again, we got it together and we responded.
It was similar to the Michigan game in a way. I mean, that game you were shut out and you came back in the second half.
Yeah.
What did it feel like that one play was a spark today, or what sort of allowed you to get going a little bit offensively this game?
I think it's just, the attitude that we had as an offense. We never got too down on ourselves. We obviously have the mentality that we want to score every time we touch the ball, but it doesn't always work out like that. So I think I would attribute that just to the offense just staying in it and, keeping our heads up and working.
Adrian shared a little more about his injuries today. What can you say about his toughness?
He's one of the toughest players that, I've ever played with. One of the best leaders. I just told him, I'll go to bat for you every day. I always have your back, no matter what. And I mean that.
Frost said, and Adrian talked a little bit about the fact that he had a fractured jaw out of that Michigan State game. What does it say about a guy to make the decision to play through that?
Yeah, it shows that he's tough and he's a leader on this team. Not a lot of players will fracture their jaw and miss one drive and then come back and lead the team almost to a victory. Not many players can do that, and especially not many quarterbacks. So that's something that, gained a lot of respect from me.
Smart, what allowed you to maybe get going a little more today than maybe you had the previous games?
Just sticking with it, allowing the quarterback to get through his reads, it's not gonna be every game, where you have opportunities like that, but I just try to make the most of my opportunities. Last week I had a tough one that I feel like that's a play I could have made and could have made a difference in the game, but, I didn't want to, let that sit over my head. I wanted to bounce back, and I did that.
Back in the spring, you said at one point as you got going here that you were surprised that things hadn't gone better here based on what you saw.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been really close a lot this time.
Yeah.
Are you still surprised that it's so many things have gone okay for you this year and you're 3-7?
Yeah, definitely. That's obviously not – this isn't the record that we planned. And like you said, we've had plenty of opportunities to, to make this whole season, flip that instead of 3-7, 7-3. Could have been that easy, but we just have to make the plays when it matters and just finish games. And I think we're making progress, but clearly we're not quite there yet.
I apologize if you were asked. Did you give any feedback to your coaches after they decided to kick that field goal instead of going for 4th down?
No, I didn't give him any feedback on that. That's the head coach's call, and I'm gonna roll with it. You good?
Yeah, thank you.
Is that the whole Ohio State for 23, is that the sort of performance you expected?
Most definitely. 23 is still a lot to us. We just try to, play our best defense that we can.
But I believe we did a great job. You know, they supposed to go 49 a game. They get nowhere near 49.
Ken, you guys stayed out there for 84 plays. How did this defense just hold up for the whole game?
We got to help the offense out, man. You know, yeah, third downs are critical. And we got to get out the field on third down. I believe we started to do that, you know, as the game went on. But beginning, we were just playing too many plays. That's really it. I get out the field.
What can you say about the performance of number 11 for Ohio State, who had 240 receiving yards?
He's a playmaker. We already knew that. We got to tackle. Got to. He turned a 5-yard route to a 75-yard route, 75-yard touchdown, anything. So it was kind of shocking. But then again, he's a playmaker. He goes to that school, and they got some wideouts.
When you're coming out the field, I saw you seem to say still close, that sort of thing. I mean, how frustrating is it to have played, 4 teams that rank in the top 10 now to the wire and come out on the wrong side of all of them?
It's very frustrating, and not for just me. A lot of guys that came back, we came back for a reason, and I don't think we're, doing what we said. It's some guys, that I don't think understand that, we want to win, bro. Like, you got to put in everything to win. Put everything on the line. Like I told the guys last week, it didn't matter about how many games we got. We still got to play football. We've been playing this game since we were little. Why give up now? And we're trying to go get those trophies across the field, against Wisconsin and Iowa.
Why do you think some guys are having sort of trouble getting that message?
Young. Wouldn't say we're trying to, teach them the culture of being a black shirt on defense. For some of the young guys and on offense, they have their thing, but it's still, the culture. We got to build it around everybody, the whole team. It's there, but just a little bit more. As you can see, there's always one play or something in the game.
Do you have any doubts about the way that Miles would handle stepping in the starting line?
Not at all. I trust him. Every time we go out there, I tell him I love him and I got your back. It doesn't matter what the play is. We're always talking. I just told him, once you get here, communicate with me, talk with me. So I know what you got on your mind and you know what I have on mine. So I wouldn't say, I feel nervous about him getting out there or anything. He played great. He's been playing great. He has, some hiccups, but who doesn't? He's a young guy, but I believe he will overcome all of that and be a great safety.
Do you see any deflation on the sideline when the offense is moving it maybe toward the lead, then the missed field goal, that whole sequence? What did you see down there?
It was down, then it got back up quick. It maybe was a second. You saw faces, and then back up. Just because defense was going back on the field, and I feel the energy comes from defense. So as we're going back on the field, we're telling everybody to get up. Like, come on. We still got a ball game to play. It doesn't matter how much time on the clock. Let's go.
Did you have maybe you were way down the field in coverage, but did you have a view of that strip sack fumble that Nelson had on the last possession? And it seemed
I was on the other side of the field. Yeah, but I did see it. It was crazy. Hopefully, I was wishing that we could have scooped it up and scored, but things happened and they fell on it.
As Scott talked about a couple of guys in Adrian and JoJo who have been playing hurt. What does it say? Maybe I guess about each of them individually, starting with JoJo on your side, to be a 6-year guy to have come back and to be playing through, whatever it is exactly that he's playing through.
Like I said, JoJo loves the game of football. He loves his sport. He loves his game, man, and he loves his team. Same goes for Adrian. Those guys put everything on the line. When I say everything, Adrian, he can have broken jaw, bro. It's crazy. I don't know a lot of people that will go back out there and play, this physical sport like that. JoJo has his bumps and bruises. He gets back out there without any doubt about it. Never complaining about anything, and always, about the team.
Anything else for Cam? Thank you. I think